He knows I'm at only because we're not even doing anything. Yeah, I just missed the whole time. Once again, I did not. I took it every year in middle school. I didn't want to. They didn't give me a choice. You could have swapped out of there.
Eli's going live. Let's go. Yo, subscribe right now. Subscribe to Crafty Arts.
And what's your
9 subscribers away. Let's go. Oh, they already like it.
Which one's the movement stick? So what's the side fashion?
This is better. You're living in school.
Huh? You're living in school.
I'm leaving. Do what? Whatever else. I have to pay my driving test. They can let you drive, please. By yourself? I'm going to drive to your house and steal the money out of it. Wait, I'm not the type of guy to have a common card and call his basement. I don't have a basement.
What'd you say?
Buried underground. You make it look like a tornado.
Hey, you know.
Rain. How many viewers are there? Oh, there's a few.
Oh, he left.
Right after I was doing gang talk. Why reporting me? Inappropriate finger.
Alright, y'all, go ahead, get out your documents. You need to be working on document F.
Yes, clarify.
Dude, I was playing Steve from Minecraft.
I got this.
Yeah, can you connect it to the active board? Mr. Eric, can you connect it to the active board? No, you have those. You can play. Okay, what if I need to be professional? I would have back. Okay.
That's right. Look, I don't want to embarrass y'all because, you know, you're right here, but I would.
Friends? I don't have any of those. I'm gonna try.
I would cover stomp everybody.
You would.
I'm kind of stressed. I would say this.
It would say this.
understand how good I've given this man nightmares. When you were like 5. And you recorded your TV from your iPad. Start selling games or whatever you said. I've never played that game in my life. I think taking the Switch is a more cruel and unusual punishment. That is cruel and unusual punishment.
That's why you're drinking perks in that coffee. Why are you drinking perks in that coffee? Mr. Aaron, why does your coffee cup say perk?
We're gonna report you for.
Did you put
cruel and unusual
Because
punishment?
that's the name of the company.
Great, I'll get it.
Yeah, do they
We're gonna report you.
Alright, hey, listen.
Do they make white tablets?
We do have to talk about one thing. First off, your grades are in. So, if you are exempting, you're almost done. If not, as updated, if you are going to Saturday school, you have to personally come up and tell me today. Otherwise, you're not going to have anything in there. Do I give these to you? Finally? Alright, awesome. Do I give these to you? No. What does that say on there?
268 Night Trail, Thomaston, Georgia.
He's reading.
286, my child, his or her
I'm
first.
glad they accepted you.
Huh?
Nothing. Keep reading.
Fourth block period exam on May 25th, 2023, I, Hannah Smiley, or Linda Ramey will be picking him/her up, or my child, Gavin Smiley, has permission to leave after his/her fourth block period exams. May
Okay, read that
25th.
sentence again. Read that sentence again. The whole thing. You're welcome.
He's a little bit slow sometimes.
Are you just jealous because your parents don't accept you?
I bet you put it up that well.
You know, eventually they came around.
Yeah, he's a bit slow. He's the one that got the Switch took.
Stupid.
It wasn't
I had the
me.
controller and you got took. How did you get it took?
You
I had a whole
wasted all
controller.
year.
This is true. I didn't know what they were doing until I looked back here and you were like draped over the desk.
It wasn't me. It was him.
You could just be going like this.
Yeah,
That is something Gavin would
He
do.
could have like just been.
Well, would you rather get took?
Have you finished Breath of the Wild yet? You killing me.
Well, what would you think if I was
I
just
know.
doing this on my
He
desk?
can't finish
I
Breath of the
would
Wild until
question
you give him
why.
the switch back.
Yeah. How about I finish Breath of the Wild right now?
Mm.
Come on.
Okay, bring it to us. Bring him the switch.
Okay, so, I have to ask y'all, with the stuff, did she give y'all the timeline activity to work on?
You could have just said no.
Okay,
She gave him like an
yeah, she didn't give it to my second block at all, so.
That's her.
She gave it
We all got it.
Well, we still really like her.
They were supposed to use up the whole time in class to do it.
Why?
Wait, was the time not a grade?
Gavin's not gonna have this class anymore.
Well, it was going to be a grade.
Yeah,
He was
but I
very
don't think.
strict, but a good teacher.
That's okay, I have something else for doing today.
But you said yesterday was the last.
Well, I think we should just take all classes.
Relax.
Give us a little more time and we can finish.
Oh, you're not done.
Mr.
I'm
Aaron,
almost done.
Yeah.
I took the entire class period filling that thing out and I got halfway done.
Yeah, no.
I got 4:30.
That is not our fault. That was entirely doing work for one class period.
And Cars 2 was on, so how was I supposed to just not
I'm gonna
watch Cars
kick a
2?
cat.
Okay, I like
No one got done with that. If they did, they're lying to you.
Guess what? What? It's about as much work as you're gonna be getting next year.
Okay,
How about
I
no?
can finish that at home. I really didn't want to finish that at home. What?
I did. I got it.
That is a really good call.
I have
I got half of the year, got the descriptions came back.
It smells like yuzu and lemon. So yuzu is like a dragon lemon had a baby.
You ever had dragon fruit?
It's delicious.
So like a tangerine.
But more lemon.
So you taking this?
So nasty.
We have to do this, okay?
You have to do that, yeah.
What you have to do this?
Yeah, but just don't worry about that. Just go through it.
Oh, by the way, hey, I did get confirmation. We're gonna be the first group turning in our Chromebooks on Monday, so. It is what it is.
What if I turn you into?
It is what it is. I'm just telling you, like, is anybody gonna not be here on Monday?
I might be late
I'm planning to get sick that day.
because I'll be coming back.
Ray, I'll give you your study guides on Monday.
Mr. Heron, if in the future they outlawed bald people, would you go? Like, just go to the camp?
I can give you a blank piece of paper. You know, I never experienced all this snark. But there is an actual study guide, and I gave you your writing prompts.
They outlawed bald people.
Would you turn yourself in or would you grow out your
I'm thinking of actually getting a razor and just keeping it shaved from now on.
Mr. Heron, would you turn yourself in?
Have you ever considered putting a mop on your head?
Have you ever considered not talking?
Have you ever considered taking, Gavin, have you ever considered taking the mop off your
You know,
head?
you know what? I'm gonna say this. Your sister never gave me this trouble either.
Yeah. Wow, that doesn't hurt much as much as you think it does.
Your sister did give me all this trouble.
My sister, she continues to.
Also, why does your sister have your number? Because she just has it in her phone.
Mr.
Wow, this is like going to my secret.
No.
Mr. Heron, she has a very important question for you.
Mr. Heron, he has a very important and potentially illegal question.
Oh, Mr. Heron.
So I got switched to.
I don't think I sound good anyway.
Mr. Heron, he has a very enthusiastic question to ask.
And possibly very illegal.
Ask. Ask away, Gavin.
Why are you letting Why does she have your number?
Quiz team.
Huh?
Quiz team.
Wow, what a loser. Wait, hold on.
Wait, she's on
If
that?
you join a
I
club,
was
you just
thinking
get
of
your
going
teacher's
there.
number?
No, but there are times when we need to coordinate, like, if we're having practice or not, so.
I'm going to harass her.
I was gonna do that, but I don't know if I will now.
I'm going to join.
You're also just a bad person.
I have really good memory.
Look, I'm just gonna point out, if you join Chuck Trump's live, you ask questions.
That is nice. That is, I will join next year, can I join this second?
We are done for the year, so.
Can you help me raise money?
Hey, y'all, good work. Where's your package?
I ain't good.
Mr. Heron, I'm broke, dog. Can you help me raise money?
Give me the advertising.
Yeah.
He'll say,
I will
join
paint it on my forehead.
He'll say, join the club.
Okay, so you know that high shoes are actually. We'll be walking on Rhea, right? Rhea, so like, I'm kinda over the whole high shoe thing. They're okay. They're a little overblown.
Can I get an example of the quizzical question? Mr. Heron,
Do we have to write this entire thing?
Yeah.
can I get an example of the quizzical question?
You gonna be here on Thursday?
No. I forgot Thursday we had to leave early. We got to leave early. I'm going to the pie that day. With the boys. Oh my God, you're not stupid. The dude that graduated is here with the NFL.
Do you understand how many dudes graduate from here?
That go to the NFL.
Hey,
Landon,
I got
I need to talk to
Let me
you.
get one.
No,
That's not mine.
no one has it.
Quiet.
No, I've got it from my house. I got it from my house.
Can I get one, please?
He doesn't want one. He does not
Yeah.
have them.
Can I get one?
What do you mean you have?
They're at my house.
I don't have any more.
Oh, I saw it sitting.
I have some if you want some.
Can I get one?
No, that's yesterday.
That's a-
Hey, If you give it to me, I'll make Chris mad. You guys get one.
Let me get it. Let me get it.
Yeah, from my bag.
Bless you.
I was having an argument with my mom this morning, and we were calling each other stupid. And I started shouting. I mean, you were both right. How do you both argue? You guys are this finish on, huh? Like at least one side has to be wrong. How did you argue against the same? No, we were just calling each other stupid. There wasn't really an argument. You were just saying. I mean, yeah. No, man, like we're caught in the car box like we did on the show with that. Both of you are stupid losers is what I'm saying.
I don't know what to put for number 4.
Let's go, so.
I know that political oppression and military power
It's
is more important, but I don't know.
I'm still mad about the random.
Like your essay, I
Oh,
heard.
it's in, okay. Can I check it on my phone?
So you made it 100.
Mr. Aaron?
What, on yesterday? I went here today,
I'm
so
still mad
instead
about
of
the
doing
random
the
carrier.
presentation, I just had to write a one-page
For
essay.
learners? You don't think it's right? It's just, it's like,
Complain about
What do you make of this?
Do you understand how little I care that you were upset about that?
I understand, but you'll care if I say it enough, because then it'll get annoying.
No.
what's
Look, dude, I have Harley Chapman in my class, okay? I can block out a whole lot.
You will forever find it funny that you are so mad about it.
Dude, he bit into a pin yesterday, and I think he ate one of my glue sticks.
Wait, what?
I had a glue stick yesterday, and it had chew marks on it.
I was hungry.
Who did that?
Sorry,
And the pen just exploded in his mouth.
So what if I?
I got a little bit hungry.
Dude, if you eat this, I'm gonna call your mom and tell she to take you to the hospital because you're gonna have to get your stomach pumped.
I can take it.
Like this, the whole thing, just eat it.
What if it just went into his stomach?
I can swallow it whole.
What's that, man?
Nose and body acid.
This guy?
I don't know. But he ate like an airplane and multiple cars.
So there was a guy during the reign of terror that was known for eating everything, including babies.
Oh,
Yeah, Terrare.
I'm related to that guy.
Like, they tried to use him as a spy because he could literally take his hand and reach down into his stomach.
So, I know who Terrari is, I've seen the video.
And he might have been in a mental institution, and they kicked him out because he was found.
How?
He did it.
And Tanner, Tanner.
We don't know. They would give him 5 eels, and he would just eat them like dogs.
So is he like special?
He was.
I don't know.
All right, if you were not here yesterday, here's your deal. While everybody else is working on stuff, I want you to take your research. You have until the end of class to write me a page, front and back, since you weren't here yesterday for the presentations. All right.
Well, in this scenario, it's a random dude in Nevada. And it's also a meme, it's not real. It's a random dude in Nevada. He's not even related to me. Pretty sure. It's really funny.
And look at that. We're gonna put it right. What is?
No.
Alright, let's look at these. Right. So, what are the two things that we're looking at here?
World's strongest man and a label.
Yeah, around 1975, 1973, world's strongest man. We have a bunch of Olympics, and like, have you ever noticed how Russia really competes hard in the Olympics? No, it's not because they do steroids. It's because they do blood doping. Okay, yeah. So you know the dialysis machines, they clean your kidney, like when your kidneys are failing, they cycles your blood. Yeah. Well, they're doing that, but at the same time, they also have it to where
It pumps
that-
in more oxygen.
yeah, it basically supercharges each of your red blood cells with more oxygen than it's actually supposed to be able to have if you were to take a breath.
Did you know I have that naturally?
Yeah, sure. Anyways,
He's always, everybody's staring him up. Is it because you're always so...
yeah, so they've gotten in trouble for that a number of times, and for the last two Olympics, they've not been able to compete as the Russian country. They have to, what is it? I think it's like the Independent Athletes of Russia. It's like IAR, but like everyone knows they're Russian. Like, and most people have said that, if you're caught cheating, you shouldn't be allowed to compete at all. Because it doesn't matter if you're wearing your country's flag or not, you're probably still cheating.
Uh-uh.
So,
Kevin, stop saying that word.
I didn't say that.
alright, children.
He said the B word.
I did.
He said the B word. Like very loudly.
Perestroika?
Nope.
Oh.
Pastroni? Nope. Starts, it's
Pepperoni.
bologna. We all know what word it is.
Bikini?
No, but it does have an E in it. You care to say what it is, Kevin?
Penne? Pasta?
Similar, but it has an S in it.
Yes.
Oh, pennies, right, yes.
There you go. You got it. There you go.
Alright, of the 8 Summer Olympics. Come on. I'm gonna move you if you keep talking. Between 1952 and 1988, in which both the Soviet Union and the U.S. participated, how many times did the Soviet Union win more medals than the U.S.?
6 out of 8 times.
6 out of 8 times. You know what they don't have on there? The miracle on the ice, because they're not doing Winter Olympics. Y'all. What caused the U.S. to boycott the 1980 Summer Olympics in Moscow?
The Cold War tensions.
Yeah, basically it got so bad that we were like, I don't want to sit and think about it. If you're almost going from a Cold War to a hot war, are you going to willingly send your athletes there? No. What happened to Brittany Griner when she went to Russia?
She got traded back for an arms dealer.
What did they get her for?
Weed.
Yeah.
Marijuana.
Yeah, they found the devil's leg. So,
And then they traded her back for the Merchant of Death.
yeah.
Wonderful deal.
We didn't want the
But,
WNBA
like,
player to
You
begin
didn't get the
with.
other guy that was.
But do you think it was really because she was smoking?
No.
No, it's because she's
it's-
American.
It's because she's an American. We had, y'all, hey, cut it out. It's because we had heightened tensions because of the war in Ukraine and the fact that we were putting embargoes on Russia where they can't get chips and other things from us and.
Why didn't we just leave her there? For the Merchant of Death, we could have got more people back. Think of the Merchant of Death.
I think that this administration just wanted her out of the news. But the longer she was in Russia, the worse it looked to be president.
Okay, but like, you made it,
Okay,
you
that one was
took it a
really
step further and made it worse.
So let me put this a different way. Presidents have lost elections because of Americans kept abroad, like Jimmy Carter totally lost the election because of the Iranian hostage crisis, and the Biden administration probably didn't want to have to deal with that.
So,
So,
like, the merchant guys, they didn't have anyone else to trade.
probably not.
They just went to the extreme.
The Soviet government spent a lot of money training their Olympic athletes. What might explain the emphasis that they put on Olympic success? So, like, why are they focused on the Olympics so much?
Pride in communism.
They wanted to beat the US.
Yeah, basically, I mean, like, you gotta think, the athletes that go to the Olympics are hyper fixated on their sport, right? But it does allow them to be the best of the best in their sport. Morgan, you alright? Okay, you just, don't worry. So, does that mean that, like, if you have Olympic success, does that kind of correlate to the rest of your society? Is everybody else this way?
No.
Obviously not, because we're like on the wrong side of Wally right now.
Yeah.
Who's Walmart?
Wally the little robot.
I know.
Yeah,
I
the
know.
people in the spaceship running around on the space Zumbas.
You know, that was a phobia of mine when I was little, that society would just come to that.
Mine is that we're gonna turn into idiocracy, but that's neither here nor there.
That society's.
I mean, yeah, we have one leading us right there.
President Macho.
Macho?
Have you not seen?
We
the
need
movie?
President Macho. You don't know who that is.
Alright,
You don't know who that is.
so, should they emphasize success in sports over political oppression or military power?
Of course.
Why?
Yeah, Gavin, explain.
I mean, ultimately it's your opinion, but why would you not want to emphasize this?
Well, so, probably because you could just be invaded if you didn't have a strong military power.
Okay, think about this.
Athletes would beat them.
Think about what you're learning in school. Okay. Do you honestly think that we're doing a super deep dive into most of the things that we're talking in world history?
No, that's not.
No. The way that we like to think of it is,
We're going over.
think of a tree on Mount Everest.
You could think of an iceberg.
Go all the way up to the top of that tree, find the one leaf up at the top that's flittering in the wind. That's what you're learning. Because there's so much more that you could, there's so much more, but we don't have time for it. Like, guys, I could spend 3 years teaching Rome.
Teach an elective then.
Oh, look, we are trying to get some.
Teach a pathway.
We're trying to get some history electives. Like, we've thought about doing a history of the U.S. through movies class.
Teach a pathway.
Exactly, right? Wouldn't you take that?
Yes, teach a pathway.
Yeah, right? That would be an
He
amazing.
wants to, but there's anyone that wants to join.
Bullcrap, I joined. A lot of people.
I would totally teach a history of rock and roll class.
What about,
Yeah, see, exactly.
What about like modern history, like an emphasis on like early 1900s to now?
So,
you heard about how metal was made?
Oklahoma.
It was said that some dude sold his
Chirac.
soul so he could play the best out of anyone, like in rock. And then he was just like, he played metal. It was the best out of ever. She doesn't know something.
Are you?
alright, y'all, so put these up, we'll finish these on Monday.
President Gavin.
Alright, come on.
Mr. Herron,
Yeah, that's me.
wasn't Jimmy Carter a rock and roll master?
I think you're thinking of Jimmy Page.
No, Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter.
No military.
Jimmy Carter was a rock and roll military.
Exactly.
Alright. So, today, we gotta talk about just the changing world. So, like, what happens because the Soviet Union is just no longer there. Because, yeah, like, when it falls, I mean, think about it. You have the world split between two superpowers, and then one of them just disappears. It's not overnight, but it's quick enough that most people don't know what to do. And the U.S. is kind of left in the 90s. We're still, okay, so technically, we're still kind of dealing with the fallout of the Soviet Union now, because we're so used to having an adversary that we can look at and go, that's not us. That our role in the world is going to change in the 90s. We're going to go from being, hey, all about democracy to being all about, hey, our position has kind of changed. We're not just a superpower anymore. We start to see ourselves as like the world's police. So if like something's going down that needs to be stopped, we will definitely intervene.
Yeah, that's gonna.
But it's also double-sided, because think about it. Anytime, okay, hurricane hits Haiti, who's going to fix it?
Me.
Yeah, the first thing that we do is we send our military out there. Are we going there to take it over? No. We can literally show up at any place with any of our aircraft carriers and start pumping clean water that people can drink from the ocean water. We have a desalination plant on every single one of those. We have nuclear reactors on every aircraft carrier. We can pull up and we can light up a whole city with just the aircraft carrier on.
It's like a bitch.
So we're going to be seeing that kind of change. We're going to see a whole lot of things change throughout the 80s and 90s, but specifically the 90s. Technology gets better, technology gets cheaper. I mean, you got to think the first original computer that we had during World War II was about the size of this room.
I just imagine a massive, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The size of that.
Do you want to see it? Sure.
Man, everyone's impressed by that, but it's more, it's less impressive. Because imagine those like small little computers. How precise you have to be. It's way less impressive to have.
Freeze as a ram. Look, this girl's butt naked. Cause look, there's this girl right here dancing, and then she's just, yeah, and she's walking.
What the?
She's just disappeared. I don't know where her head is. I think her head's like up here somewhere.
All right, y'all. So this was one of our first computers that we ever had. It's not, because that was the prototype. And guys, there's no computer chip in it. It's made out of basically strings, raw components, and punch card systems. Yeah, so you know, you've seen the punch cards like on like cartoons and stuff where somebody clocks in, they push the punch card in, clicks it, stamps it, whatever, and they go in to work. Well, so the punch card is actually a set of instructions about what the machine should do. It basically knows, like when it reads a certain punch holes in whatever it's doing, that's what it knows to do. And for the longest time, that's kind of how our computers are. I mean, we don't begin to see the first computer at home until roughly the mid-80s. And even then, I mean, y'all, I can remember my first computer that I ever saw at school. No. The first computer I ever saw at school was an old green screen Apple II. And it had, nothing ran on this thing. You had to run everything off of the disk that it had. And the disk, you know, they're not circular, they're big floppies, and they're about that big. Yeah, it was like a, yeah, kind of like a vinyl. When was this? Okay.
Probably.
What year? I was in kindergarten in 1994. Wait, no, let's see, kindergarten was 93. So, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. Not only could I read, my mom found out I had a photographic memory when I could recite the book that I had read like 3 weeks ago to her. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. When I study for something, I can remember the smudges on the paper. Like, I can still do it from like college.
Guys, I
Do it now.
Give me a section of your notes right now.
Do what?
Give me a section of your notes right now. Give me the third word to Mesopotamia.
Okay, so the best one I can remember.
Third word to the right of what you're thinking right now.
Oh,
The notes.
Sherman.
All right, now the whole sentence.
General Sherman marched on Atlanta.
So he's making it.
No.
I thought you had photographic memory.
Do what? What's up? 35. So anyway.
Sherman was in the Civil War, and near to the end of it, he went down through Georgia just burning everything.
Alright. So, listen up. Come on, we gotta get through this. So, today we're looking at female leaders, we're looking at technology. So, we talked about Golda Meir before. This is just a rehashing of what we already learned. She was the first female prime minister of Israel. She's also the one that supports unrestricted immigration there. If you're Jewish, they will give you citizenship. They want you to move on. She's also going to be the one that is prime minister during the Yom Kippur War, which is one of the last wars between Arabs and Israel, and she really tries for peace in the region. Does it happen? Kind of. She kind of makes some headwinds, but like it's really hard to bring peace to a region when like everyone's threatening to destroy you. So it's a long process, and it's still not done, but they have made headwinds within the last year or so. Israel actually has a agreement, like a military agreement with Saudi Arabia, because Saudi Arabia doesn't like Iran. Israel doesn't like Iran because they keep threatening to destroy them with a nuke. So Iran's on the pathway to get a nuke, but they don't have one yet. So we had an agreement in place that they could have nuclear power. Just because you have a nuclear reactor that makes electricity doesn't mean you have nuclear stuff to make bombs with, though you can use it to do such. But we actually had agreements in place that we would go over there and inspect it to make sure they're not making weapons. And then from 2016 to 2020, we ripped that agreement up and said we didn't trust it. What's up? So,
Can I have the written portion about Nixon, please?
So, Indira Gandhi worked for Indian independence in 1964. She's the first female prime minister of India. She doesn't align with the Soviets or with the U.S. She plays them off of each other as if they're two boys trying to get her affection. Okay, so she is. I mean, it depends. It's complicated. She is really complicated because on the one hand, she does make India a nuclear power. Oh yeah. But basically, the biggest thing that she could do for her country is focus on her country and not get them involved with democracy versus communism. She would just play them off of each other. She'd come up to the U.S. and go, hey, I would really like some new fighter planes. And they're like, yeah. You going to support us? You going to come out and say you join in NATO? You know, the rest of this? And she's like, Then she'd go to the Russians and be like, hey, the U.S. is offering me fighter planes. And they're like, well, we'll give you fighter planes and tanks if you support us. And she's like, And she would keep doing this back and forth until she got everything she wanted.
Didn't we learn about this yesterday?
Why did she just lie about
Just a little bit of it.
Then, wow. Now, there are thousands of sheiks that do not like her because they see her as a dictator. Because she does suspend the press, she does suspend the fact that they can't have elections. And when they protest her, she murders them in their most holy site, and then thinks that her bodyguards are more loyal to her than their own religion.
Then why did you put the good things up there?
Oh, wait, I didn't see the last part.
Yeah, and so, once they get her in a back alley, they pop a cap in her. Or a few.
What about Castro?
Alright. Ben, as far as Thatcher is concerned.
I hate Thatcher.
Alright, so Margaret Thatcher, the big thing that gets her in trouble. One, hold on. Thatcher believes that if the government helps you in any way, that leads to communism. So, she believes, because think about it, in Britain, they don't have to pay if they go to the doctor. It's paid for with their taxes.
She charge you for that?
Which I gotta admit is kind of nice. I showed up in Korea one time, had a broke leg, walked out, I paid $8 for some.
That's why if I ever get cancer, I'm
X-rays.
moving to London immediately.
Oh, right. But she says that's communism, so we gotta cut it. Food stamps to help people when they don't have enough food to feed their kids. That's communism. Get rid of it. Milk, free lunches at school leads to communism. You're relying on the government too much instead of going out and actually working. You're lazy. Communism. The other thing she does is this. She institutes a flat tax.
So she like.
Which means everybody, no matter how much you make, pays the same percentage in their taxes.
So she's like.
It is highly unfair to lower wage workers. What's up?
So she'd be like a Colville's dream
Yeah,
leader.
she's very corporatist.
She'd be like the dream leader for.
I mean, think about it.
Corporations.
How much is, I always use this example. How much is minimum wage right now?
Like 750.
No.
725.
It is $7.25. Don't give them 25 cents extra. It is $7.25.
When their work is like work twice that.
What is full-time employment? How many hours a week?
40.
It is 40. Most employers are not going to give you 40 hours though, because if they give you 40 hours, they have to offer you health care. Not that you have, not that they're paying it for you, but they have to give you the option of buying health care, right? So that means that you're probably not even going to get 40 hours, you're probably going to get 38. So, let's make it easy. Let's make it easy.
Too close, guys. What if you actually work overtime?
What is,
I don't know.
let's just round it up to 40. What is 8 times 4?
36.
Which means if you're working 40 hours times 8,
304.
you're making $320 a week.
38 times 8 is 304.
How many weeks are in a month?